Welcome home, everybody. So this is our pre-show countdown, and I want to know, Derek, throw the banner up there. So if you guys could like, subscribe, share during our pre-show. But we start every show off with the entire team here, and we just ask this question. It's a pre-show countdown. When are you going home next? So Jake, why don't you lead us off here?
All right, so we will be home in 48 days at Old Key West, followed up with 95 days until Copper Creek for the big My DVC Points meetup in June, and then 145 days until Animal Kingdom Jumbo House for my birthday weekend. So a lot of things to look forward to in the summer.
Yeah, and actually, I think that birthday weekend, is that June? Is that October?
That is July 24th is my birthday.
Okay.
So that'll be mid-July. It'll be really, really hot in the park, so that'll be like a pool weekend.
Got it, because I'm just going to cheat off of Gina's on a lot of these.
On a lot of these, on most of these, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so Derek, what about you?
We are 135 days to somewhere. Still not sure. Waiting on points. So, and then that's a July trip, and then we are 378 days until a spring break trip next year.
Okay.
Again, staying somewhere.
378, that just sounds bad, but we're waiting for your points to come in. You passed Rofer, so
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay.
Okay. Yay. Gina?
96 days until we do our content member meetup. I think that's what we're calling it in June. And then 114, so 2 weeks after that, to Aulani for our listener meetup. And then 220 for the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary. And then somewhere in there, I'm going to go to Touch of Disney. I don't know what day, but we're going to go March 4th and push the button a million times and refresh and hopefully get some tickets for that.
Oh, that's right. You got to hit that lotto thing, whatever, to get Touch
It's
of
only
Disney
like
tickets.
2 weeks. So hopefully, or March 18th to April 5th. So what is that, 3 weeks? So
You
we'll
must be
hopefully
talking
get-
about California.
Yes, a Touch of Disney where they'll have a food fest. So hopefully
it.
we can get tickets for that.
Got it. Lindo, what's your countdowns like?
Well, I got to tell you, maybe about 120 days exactly. I'm not, give or take a few. I'm back to Vero Beach. I was the grand opening team in Vero Beach at DVC in 1995, and I love the great loggerhead turtles that come in, and they start in May. So I am praying, knock on wood, I'll be there and enjoy sinking my toes in the sand along with it.
Awesome. Is it different going back there as a vacation after having worked there? Or?
You know, it still very, very much feels like home. I know when I did work there as a DVC Vacation Club guide, one of my favorite vacations was I had some college buddies come, sorority sisters, and we actually, even though my office was right there in the mainframe, stayed in the Grand Inn and did a couple of days there after coming over from Boardwalk, and it did not feel like work. I know that may sound funny, but there's an ambience there you can get away from. So no. It's great.
Okay.
I love Vero Beach.
Okay, still loving it all. Okay,
Yeah.
Roxanne, what's the
All
countdown
right.
like?
I am 42 days from Vero Beach in a 3-bedroom beach cottage, which is blowing my mind. I'm trying to just use up points and got that at 7 months. I was very excited. And we're studio 1-bedroom people. So a 3-bedroom, I haven't even stayed in a 2-bedroom, you guys. Okay. This is going to be weird.
You'll love it.
So what you're saying is you got an extra bedroom for me to
I was
pop
gonna
down
say.
here, right? I heard that as an invite. I don't know about anybody else.
Gonna
Like,
be
I heard
epic.
that as an invite, right?
I'm
So
excited.
I'll carry the
Awesome.
bags for you.
awesome.
I'll make dinner. I'll make
Fun.
dinner for her. How about
There
that?
you go. There you go,
Bring
Roxanne. You got a
wine.
full cottage now.
I'm not going to be bored.
Yeah.
My plans keep changing. I had Easter weekend, and my stupid self didn't even realize I'd booked Easter, and then I'd forgotten that all my stuff is gold passes, and
Oh.
we were literally about to book airfare for my wife and my other daughter, and I was like, oh, we don't have tickets, so I canceled all that, and then I just bumped it out to where all my Southwest flights, because I've just been booking Southwest flights for $50 each way. And so every time I can move them out, I just keep moving my stays out. So right now, I had a trip end of April, but now I just bumped that out to end of May. So now my kids, I'm going to wait till they get out of school, because unfortunately, my kids, I think, will get kicked out of school if we go during the school year anymore, because my oldest daughter's already missed 3.5 weeks of school.
Whoops.
Yeah, for
Oh.
Yeah, for different vacations. So we're not going for another about 89 days, I think is what it was when I looked it up. So we're looking at right at the end of May, June. It looks like I might miss my DVC points by 1 or 2 days. So
Oh,
my family will miss that. I might stay for a couple more days now that I know you guys are doing that. So
Yeah, we're definitely right. What is it, Gina? June
June
4th?
June 4th.
Yeah.
The other members will be
6th?
there until the 9th.
is that a Friday? Because I think right now we're leaving on a Thursday. So
Yeah.
I might extend my stay and
We're definitely doing something on Saturday and Sunday, and I think
Okay.
I get in Thursday night, but I'm going to be working Friday, I believe.
I think I might try to extend my stay because my wife can only spend about 4 or 5 days at Disney World anyway. So I'm definitely the crazy one of our troop.
Well,
our-
Awesome.
Message me if you end up staying, and we'll.
Okay, I will.
Okay,
Loop you
Sam,
in.
what about
Okay,
you?
sorry.
So I just did a calculation. Since Christmas, I've actually spent 24 days at Disney property. So
Nice.
I've glutted myself. So my punishment for that is I have 212 days till I return home again. So depending on which wait list comes through, I'll either be at Jumbo House, Old Key West, or Boardwalk. September 28th through October 5th for the big 5-0.
Nice.
Yep. We'll see you there.
Wow. Okay, Sam, you got me beat by a day. Okay, because I did 5 nights at Alani, 5 nights at Hilton Head. I did 7 nights at Alani, and then 7 nights in the World. And by the time you count the checkout days on there as well, I think you got me beat by a day. But,
Excellent. That's accomplishing something. All right.
But I am going home. Hopefully, I'm going to drive to the airport tomorrow, see if I can pick up some Spirit tickets for 2 weeks from Tuesday. It's spring break, and my wife and I are going to just buzz down for a day to go look at houses. So in and out the same day trip. So we've talked about that before in the past, and we'll come back in and take care of that as well. So, okay then.
Awesome.
Yeah, let me come back in some of the crowd comments here as well. So Dan Austin was saying he didn't know much about the Grand Flow. He's looking forward to the show. 89 days till Rebecca is there with Willie, and then 279 days for Dan to return home, but hopefully taking an extended family vacation. Kevin McLeod is tuning in. He says, hello, my DVC brothers and sisters.
Kevin.
hello.
Yes. And then Caleb has 1390 and 292 for the Allison crew.
He'll
There
be
we
at the
go.
content member meetup.
Yep. And then Amy was saying, checking in from the wet, cold northern Michigan tonight, 29 days to Hilton Head, 249 to Wine and Dine. Probably isn't going to happen in 300 to Marathon
crossed.
Weekend.
I know.
That probably we might make Marathon now. Like
The
Maybe.
full may make it. Yeah.
I think that one's a safe bet for now.
yeah, I think we could have some vaccines rolling. Okay. And then Sam said just had 40 points to burn or lose, so we booked 3 nights at Copper Creek, so 63 days out as well. And then 1 day for a studio in Saratoga Springs. Awesome.
Nice.
And Kenny's tuning in tonight.
Hi.
And Rebecca's going to meet us in for the
Hey,
meetup
Rebecca.
as well.
Perfect.
It's a short commute over from your house. And
Great.
yeah, everybody's welcome to come back
Yes.
in and do that. Once we get all the details done, we'll be posting it in the My DVC Points community group as well.
Yes.
And then Meredith said that they just booked their first day, 96 days till AKV, BLT, 146 in Kidani, then 254 for Heather, and excited to have just passed Rofer at Animal Kingdom. Yay!
Nice.
Awesome.
Yay.
Congrats.
Congrats. Welcome
Yep.
home.
Nice.
Hey,
Yep, 199 for Justin till
Okay.
Coronado for a conference.
Perfect. Still counts.
And Jennifer says from Magic in the Music, we have our first day at the Grand Flow in July. She can't
Perfect. Perfect for tuning in tonight.
wait. Yes. And then Ron says 213 Grand Villa split stay for the 50th.
Great.
Nice.
And Dan's he already knows the Grand Flow is awesome because he's already booked 2 nights there. And CN Gregory, 1425 points to burn.
Oh.
Oh.
Man.
Thanks.
We're all feeling your pain. We all feel it.
Man,
Give me a call.
DVCrentalstore.com,
Yeah.
right? See if they can hook you up, do something. They'll probably have you do some guaranteed reservations and see if they can get something going there as well. So, okay then. I think we're ready to start the show. It's going to be a long show tonight. We took a little bit longer in the pre-show, but that's okay. So Derek's going to get moving everybody around, and we will go ahead and start this thing off. So, and roll the video, Derek.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland, New York, New Jersey,
Indianapolis,
California,
Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa, Massachusetts, Georgia, Canada,
Our home resort is
Animal Kingdom, Polynesia,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Hilton Head, Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek, Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs.
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening to my
Well, welcome home, everybody, to the February 28th edition of Community Hall Live by MyDVC Points. So, my name is Chad, and I am the host tonight, and we have got a awesome crew lined up of Grand Flo lovers, and we're going to be talking about the top 10 reasons to book the Grand Floridian, and 4 reasons why you might not want to book there. So, with that being said and done, let me start to introduce everybody and bring them back into the show. So, let's welcome Jake in from DVC Newscast and our regular co-host and sometimes ghost here. So,
Yep. Hi,
Hey,
folks.
Jake.
Happy Sunday.
hey, glad you're here. And then also as well today, we've got Linda Schmidt joining from DVC Resale Market. How you doing today, Linda?
Great. Welcome home, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this. And then we've also got Roxanne back on the show as well. So, hey, Roxanne.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
Yes, happy to have you here as well. And let's come back in and welcome Justin back to the show as well. Justin, it's been a while, my friend.
Yeah, how we doing?
Doing
good for me.
great. So it's a Grand Flow show, so this is your jam. It's
This
your
is
time.
my jam.
It's your time to shine. It's your time to preach the Grand Flow gospel. Okay? So we're looking forward to hearing all of that from you tonight as well. And speaking of another Grand Flow super fan, no show would be complete without our buddy Sam Chapman here. So, Sam, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Hey, everybody. Great to be here. Just returned from a Grand Flow trip, at least in part. So looking forward to talking about it. One of my favorite places.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and start this off with our countdown. So, number 10.
Yeah, so no show for Grand Floridian would be complete without me talking here because I love this place more than any other, with the slight exception of Riviera. I am starting to really love that place. But anyways, great pools. They got the Grotto Waterfall. You got the great pool bar that's right next door, so you don't have to go far from the pool to get your drink. As it's got the zero entry sandy beach, and you got a great view of the Magic Kingdom the entire time you're there. So it's hard to beat that anywhere you're at. And for me, I know Chad disagrees with me. He loves the SAB, but I'm all about the water slide here. I think this is the best water slide on property. Don't at me. Kids splash pad area. My kids love this splash pad. Now, it's not the best
splash
one.
pad. Okay.
It's not the best splash pad, but it is really nice. It was one of the OG splash pads because I think Polynesian, did it come after? Or did this one come before? But the Mad Hatter hat, my daughter, when she was, first time we came here, she was just under 3. She talked about that green hat for years. And she was deathly afraid of it. And I have so many slow motion pictures of her where I made her stand underneath it with the water coming down on her head. And it was great. So that place is awesome. And of course, as we all know, if you love lobster, and most of you do, the lobster sliders are fantastic. Do yourself a favor. Yes, at the pool. So
Okay.
if you like lobster, that's where to go.
Got it.
And that's something you can't get anywhere else, I'm pretty sure.
I will give them the waterfall grotto, okay? Because
It's
that
awesome.
waterfall in the pool is kind of cool, okay? And I will give them as well, like, it's a nice pool area, right? The slide, not my favorite, but it's still a great pool area. I'm not going to take that from them. Anybody else got
I
anything
think
on the
the theme that's
pools?
going to come up here though with the pools, like it's relaxing. That waterfall, the environs around the pools. I mean, everything comes together about relaxing elegance at this resort, and I feel like the pool theme fits that wonderful. So if you're in the mood for relax elegant, this is for you. If you're in the mood for crazy Marco Polo games in the pool, head over to Jamba House or Stormalong Bay. But elegant, relaxing pools, Grand Floridian, all in.
I forgot to mention this. Where else can you be at a pool and watch the monorail go around? You can do that.
That's true.
Not really any place. I think it's the only place for the monorail view.
I got you guys. And I will say I did ask my daughters what they like most about the pool. And my oldest did say she likes the wherever the heated water comes up. It comes up from the ground part. And so she just likes to go from one hot spot to another. So you can just throw that in for another fun spot.
Okay, awesome.
And it almost feels like at the Grand Flow, there's two main pools, even though you have the beach pool, which has a slide, and then the courtyard pool is technically the quiet pool, but it's like the size of a main pool. So I just say that it has two main pools, just minus the slide. And I love that pool in the courtyard because it's right in front of the main lobby, and it's so quiet. There's an abundance of chairs. They have a really nice bar, and it's awesome. It's right across from the Sugarloaf building, which is the club level building. So
awesome.
I don't think you can pick a bad pool there at Grand Floridian. They're all great. And then you have that beautiful lake out there, and there's nothing more soothing than water. So all those pools, great water slides, lake, how do you beat it?
Yeah, it's definitely got some water stuff going there. Right?
The only thing I will docket is, there is no hot tub at the DVC or the pool slide area. And that is a negative, but otherwise it's pretty good.
Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
that is a good point. And with that, let's go on to our pro tip number 9. And this is my favorite part of the Grand Floridian Villa, is that the standard views are awesome. They are incredible. For me, I prefer a standard view at Grand Floridian over a lake view. As many of you know, I love my mornings on the balcony with coffee. And every time we've stayed at the Grand, I love getting one of those corner rooms that I request. You sit out there on the balcony and watch the monorail just whiz by. And sometimes, like those corner ones, you are like right up on the monorail. Almost feels like you can just put out your hand and go ahead and touch it. And I could just sit out there for hours watching the sunrise. And it's an incredible, incredible environment. And it's significantly cheaper, a standard view to a lake view. It's a big upgrade for the lake view. And sometimes you can't see the castle with that lake view. Sometimes you're stuck with a Polynesian or TTC view room. So you're just better off getting a standard view if you can, if it's available, and watching the monorail go by. You absolutely can't beat it.
Yeah, Jake, I got to add, we had the 4th floor corner room monorail. My teenagers were just like, this place is legit. And I was like, what is so great? And they're like, look at this. You can at night see the fireworks with a standard view. And you got the monorail, and I think we could see the electrical water pageant, if I am correct. Oh, wow. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I was thinking it was going to be a bad view, but we lucked out. So
that's what we request.
You can reach out and touch the monorail there.
Yeah, right? I was thrilled.
4th floor corner room. That is your room request, folks, when you're calling member services.
Stop telling everybody.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, and I think we've got a video that Shannon has done as well, going over room requests there as well. So you can start to get her take on this, and she walks through touring plans and all of that. If you go to our resort wiki, this show will show up there at mydvcpoints.com, and then just hit the resort wiki from the drop down for Grand Flow. So that's some great stuff there. So let's come back on
And so the next thing I want to talk about is that of all the DVC resorts, Grand Floridian is the smallest DVC component of any resort. So what we need to be thinking about, if you've ever stayed at Kidani or Jumbo House and had one of the rooms in the far end of those and done the 7-minute walk, just to get to your room, this is the polar opposite of that. There's the smallest number of rooms of any DVC resort. And everything is compact all in one place. So you're never within the resort itself going far to any room. But over and above that, and we may talk a little bit about this in location, but the actual location of the DVC component itself is very strategically located. So it's just a hop, skip, and a walk to the pool. You're right next to the Senses Spa. If you want to get to the Polynesian, you're in the group of rooms that are closest situated to the Polynesian resort. So if you want to go over to Ohana, have a Lapu Lapu, which is what I would be doing. So in addition to it being small and everything right there for you in the resort, you're also conveniently located to anything you want to do there at the Grand Floridian itself. So that's a unique thing of this resort amongst all DVC, at least at Disney World.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned. Sorry, go ahead, Chad.
I remember when I was staying there with two couples, and we were in a one-bedroom, and the showers were like taken. I just went down to the pool area and used the pool shower, okay? Because it was that close from our standard room there.
Pro tip.
Yeah, it was just like a really quick, down there and back, and didn't have to worry about it. So
yeah, you're looking at a 2-minute walk.
Yeah.
I like that you mentioned, Sam, the hallways, because we hear like time in and time out with DVC, especially at the Boardwalk and Animal Kingdom, that the hallways, sometimes you can get a room all the way at the end and it feels like a mile. Here, even if you're in the corner, it's like right there. They're not long hallways at all. I think there's only like in the wing where we like to stay, there's like 5 rooms in that wing. So you're getting off the elevator and just going 5 doors down to the one all the way at the end. So it's not bad at all.
Yep.
Yeah,
and kind of the reverse side of this blade, I'm sorry, Lynn, just real quick, it is so small that if you want to get in there at a high volume time at Disney World, you have to have 11-month advantage because there's just not a large number of rooms at the Grand Floridian. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's very true. Oh, no, I'll back that up 100%. I mean, availability is extremely, to be totally transparent, at the DVC there, very, very, very important to have that. And the strategy of that resort was built for a reason. It's that small, wonderful boutique resort. It's kind of your own DVC country club, if you will. And the reason there's not restaurants there is, like everyone said, you're a hop, skip, and a jump from fabulous restaurants from Gasparilla all the way up to Victoria and Albert. Why do you need a restaurant in that little building? Because restaurants are open to the public. So if the public's going to wander around the lobby in the DVC, that just creates more traffic of people not staying there. So there was so much strategy when Walt Disney World and DVC built that resort.
Wow.
That all makes perfect sense when you start to think about that. But everything you said, Sam, very important. Availability, I'll tell you, availability there tight. So if you're thinking you want to stay there at the DVC Grand Floridian, I suggest that you own some points there so you can book it far in advance.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now's the time.
And then dvchelp.com, you can go to the availability charts over there from Pete from Newscast, puts that site on as well. And he will map that out for you as well. So if you're worried about it and you need proof, go over to Pete's site. He'll back us up 100%.
I was going to say, Chad, his availability charts are the number one thing I used when I decided to buy at the Grand Floridian. When he posted those things, and Pete, I love you. That is the greatest thing anybody has ever done for DVC.
Oh,
it tells you what to buy and what to sell. Yeah. I mean, I literally looked at it. I said, I want to stay here. I have to buy here. So, Pete, I love you. I'll buy you a drink anytime we're together.
I actually helped me sell my beach club because I looked at it and I was like, I can get into beach club in the summer when I want to go. It's 7 months, no problem. So I'm like, why do I own this little boutique beach club stuff? Yeah. Okay, then.
All right, let's talk about food. My favorite. One of my number one reasons for booking Grand Flo for my stays is the dining. Can we just talk about the 5 sit-down restaurants, guys? I mean, you've got Grand Floridian Cafe, Narcoossee's, 1900 Park Fair, Citrico's. You've got Victoria and Albert's. You've got the Enchanted Rose Lounge. You've got the tea room for the Perfectly Princess Tea Party. You've got the pool bar and grill with the lobster sliders. And you also have the Gasparilla Island Grill with a 24-hour quick service, guys, with the, you've got 5 sit down, 3 of which are signature. Come on. I mean, you don't even have to leave this resort. You could book all your meals for a week there, save tons of time running around on monorails and and you just be in heaven with the food alone. And the good thing is a lot of them are Table in Wonderland discounts. I don't know if you've noticed, but you start whipping out that Table in Wonderland card, that 20% is adding up real quick on food and alcohol at the Grand Flo. You are making your money back in like that week, no problem. And I have done that on that one resort. So My big thing is the food, and you've got that Grand Floridian breakfast. Come on with the eggs Benedict. I mean, the characters at the 1900 Park Fair. I don't know what you guys think, but I am in love with the food at this one place, honestly.
I think it's the perfect dinner date resort at Disney World. If you want to guarantee your wife is going to be happy with the restaurant you take her to for date night at Disney World, pick a random sit-down restaurant at Grand Floridian and you can't go wrong.
I've never had a bad meal in any of them. Amazing.
And officially, Victoria and Albert's is actually not an official, I think, signature restaurant. It's like a level above signature. It's the only 5-diamond restaurant in all of Florida. My wife and I go there on a 5 or 0 anniversary year. It is a cuisine experience. I use the word cuisine like no other.
Experience.
It's unbelievable.
Have you done the chef's table?
I've never done the chef's table.
Okay.
But get the wine pairings. Don't go there without getting the wine pairings, because you're handing yourself to a master sommelier saying, pick the perfect wine for this dish, and they don't go wrong. So Chad, I know you're not a wine guy, but it's worth becoming a wine guy for the wine pairings at Victoria and Albert.
Yeah.
And 2 of our favorite, at least for our family, underrated restaurants are at this resort. Like Grand Floridian Cafe, I think it's so underrated and it's so good. And 1900 Park Fair is another amazing option, because most people will vouch for Cinderella's Royal Table instead. Is for dinner. We absolutely love 1900 Park Fair for brunch. We've done Easter brunch there a couple of years in a row, and it's been really, really nice. And then, like I said, Grand Floridian Cafe, you can always get a reservation there, and it's really, really good. Yeah. And they both take annual pass and DVC discounts. So
oh my God,
I totally agree. The 1900 Park Fair, I don't know if we got the pictures I sent, but
awesome.
The stepsisters there are by far one of the best character interactions I've had. The first time we went there, both my daughters were so young. They were super shy. They wouldn't talk to any of the characters. And then the stepsisters refused to let my daughters sit down. And they both, and it's perfect in their character. They got them both up, and for years talked about how much they loved that dinner. And then, of course, the breakfast, you got Mad Hatter, Alice, Mary Poppins, Tigger. And I mean, it's a great.
You know, you just made me think of something. If you have any food allergies at the Grand Floridian, the chef will come to your table. I mean, at any of these restaurants, even at the 1900 Park Fair, do you have gluten? Do you have dairy? They will make you something from scratch and wait on you hand and foot at any of these restaurants. It's unbelievable service.
And we can't leave without talking about the strawberry soup at 1900 Park Fair. It is the most famous soup.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, 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 very true. So you got to love the 24 hours. You got to love that. The character meals. I don't even think we got into the whole princess deal of the princess tea party that goes on there. And then we certainly didn't get into the bar there either, which I haven't been to since they've revised it. The old Meisner's Lounge. That's now.
Oh, it's incredible. The Enchanted Rose.
It's way nice.
I love that place.
The Enchanted Rose comment later in the show, but the answer is yes.
Yep. Top 5 lounge in my opinion.
Awesome.
And all a property.
You know, Citrus Rose is outstanding. You know, not a lot of people I hear talk about it as much, but I know I took my father there several years ago we had Thanksgiving dinner there, and he was so impressed with the kindness of the waiter, and he's a little slower at his age back then, and going through the menu and being extremely well versed on what to order, and everything we had there was a 10. And you don't have to open up your checkbook quite as much for Victoria and Albert, but it is outstanding experience. I also love Narcoossee's. I love Narcoossee's. Really, my favorite is to go there for lunch. Awesome. I love their lighter menu there. Yep.
I know Rebecca said that the Impossible Burger at the Grand Flo is the best on property, hands down. So there's a pro tip for our vegetarians that are out there tuning into the show.
Very good.
Can I throw in a plug for the chicken fried chicken at the Grand Floridian Cafe? You have to do it. Whether you do it at brunch, I think they're doing it brunch and dinner, but I think I heard that they only make so many per day, so you have to make sure you get there early enough.
Awesome. So, Linda, why don't you go ahead and take us on number 6?
Oh, be happy to. I know Sam spilled it already. There's where the 3 rules of real estate are: location, location. And now Grand Floridian has 3 great modes of getting to places. You've got, of course, your one-stop monorail there, which everybody loves the monorail if you're a convenience person. You have a beautiful boat ride across a glistening lake. And now, yes, that walkway is open to take you from the Grand right on over to the Magic Kingdom. And this is a plus, plus, plus. We know how important it is. I know to DVC members for sure over at Bay Lake Tower to be able to walk right over to Magic Kingdom. Well, now you can do the same thing from the Grand Floridian Hotel and the DVC. And it is a big, big plus, guys. And to avoid busyness on buses, or definitely the monorail can be busy, even though it's one stop, walk on over, get some exercise after you had all that food at one of those restaurants as well.
I was going to say, park open and park closed, to just not have to deal with that whole monorail backup.
It's great.
Just walk.
Yeah,
I actually did this. I actually did the walk a month ago, almost exactly. I timed it and I did it on my Fitbit watch, and it's exactly pretty much 3/4 of a mile. And depending on how fast you walk, our pace was right at 15 minutes from the lobby. So you can hit that up, and you can even hit Gasparilla Grill on the outside, get your little mug, fill up, and then walk the whole way with your coffee and have a nice little coffee walk in the morning. They hold you up right now, at least. I don't know what they'll do eventually, but they hold you up right by the boat entrance until an hour before opening, before they do your temperature. And then you're one of the first people in. It's great.
Awesome.
Great location.
For us, we absolutely love the. Go ahead. Sorry. I was going to say, for us, we absolutely love the monorail, that one-stop shop. Every year for our annual Mickey's Not So Scary trip, we always try to get, even if it's just for one night, the night of the party, we'll stay at Grand Flo, because you can do the pool during the day, and then you're literally one stop to the party to get there right at 7 o'clock. We could leave the pool at 6 if we wanted to and still make it on time at 7 o'clock. So that's our favorite perk of, we haven't done the walk yet, but soon, next time we stay there, we're going to hit that walk up.
Yeah,
Well,
Chris chiming in says that walkway was a game changer. And then
Yeah.
Amy Meeker-Taylor says, I'm a huge fan of being able to walk to the parks. And then Lauren says that walk is perfect to and from Magic Kingdom as well. So it's like the crowd's backing you guys up here.
And you know what?
walk,
The world
I-
wants to.
I-
So,
I haven't had. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Top of the lip here. Yeah, just real quick, I will tell you, quick little story that so many times I met with members that ask, we can walk from Bay Lake Tower right over to Magic Kingdom. We want to be able to walk, and there's no walkway from the new DVC resort at Grand Flo. And you know what? I really, truly believe that Walt Disney World does listens to its patrons, because all of a sudden now, there's a walkway there now, and another great location strength for the members and for guests to get from that hotel, from DVC, to take that beautiful walk. So, I love Bay Lake Tower, but Bay Lake Tower Contemporary, you got nothing on Grand Floridian now. They've got all 3.
That did kind of level it as well.
Here's what I found being in the 24 days at Disney is being in charge of your own destiny for rope dropping and not being susceptible to a boat or a bus is so important. So to be able to know that in 15 minutes, I'm going to be at the front gate of the Magic Kingdom, and I can control that, that gives you a huge advantage. Same type of advantage you get over in the Crescent Moon area for Hollywood Studio rope dropping. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great advantage that they introduced to the Grand Floridian, that same advantage that Bay Lake Tower had with the walk access. Even if it is a bit longer, you can still control precisely when you want to arrive at Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
And great for the physically handicapped, the guests that are challenged, the wheelchairs, to be able out in the air and the freshness and not have to be feeling awkward about getting on other forms of transportation. I just think it's really a big win for everybody there.
Yeah, that is. And our buddy Nick tuning in says, boom, there it is on Catching Up with Bay Lake. And I will tell you as well, the number 5 reason that we think here is a pro tip reason to stay at the Grand Flo is the bathrooms. We're talking television, tubs, and showers, okay? This is the only resort I know of that every single room has a TV in it, okay? Like the mirrored TV thing. My kids just go nuts over that stuff. And it's just like, we just want the TV rooms, the TV rooms, the TV rooms. The other things, the studios have a tub and a shower in it. I think you get that over at Riviera as well in the studios. It's the split bathroom version, and Polly has it. but nobody else really seems to have that in all of DVC there. So multiple people can be getting ready in the morning, and that is a pro tip there for television, tubs, and showers.
Mm-hmm. And I think going along with those rooms, Chad, is when you have 3 kids and you can get 5 people in the studio and 5 in a 1 bedroom. That is on my yes list, because it is that's a unicorn. Okay, there's Riviera, there's Grand Flo, there's very few, and that is a bargain. Okay, so I am all for that.
And 10 if you book a lock off, right? If you book a lock off at Grand Flo or Riviera, you can get 10 people in there. Now, I wouldn't recommend 10 adults, but you know, you could do it. Okay, it's possible, and the space, and it meets fire code stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the master bathroom in the 2-bedroom villa is bigger than my living room in my house. And also, each one of these villas has jetted tubs, which are fun. And our kids, our girls love to go over to there's a bath shop in the Grand Floridian main lobby. I don't know the name of it, but they buy bath bombs there. And these are things you drop into your bath and they bubble up and turn different colors. And our girls love that. And so it's part of the elegant Grand Floridian experience for them to just really make use of these great bathrooms and the beautiful tubs. It's a real feature.
Yeah, and the 1 and 2 bedroom tubs are like standalone as well. They're not like the integrated built into the wall type. They're the high end foo-foo-y like tubs.
Big soaking tub, right? Right.
Yeah, you almost see like Grandpa with the brush here going, you know, that old soap kind of thing.
I will also say that if you do not require an ADA, if you're not someone who needs ADA assistance, make sure you do not get an ADA studio, because that happened to us on one occasion. And in that case, you won't get the second bathroom. And we were a little bit disappointed. That was our first time at the Grand. It wasn't until our second time where we found out, oh, there's 2 bathrooms really if you get a regular room. So go down and switch your room if you got one of those.
Awesome.
And Chad, I think you said the word grandpa, and it just brought a memory to mind when, you know, having been with Disney for 25 years direct selling, I had so many members, got to hear so many great stories. And I had a grandfather, and then of course he brought his kids and his grandkids, and they stayed in a 2-bedroom at the Grand. And I got to go over and see them during their stay. And I asked him, so what's so great about staying here? What do you think? What are some of your favorite things? And he said, you know what? We have no problem getting my grandkids to go brush their teeth at night, because they can watch TV and brush their teeth at the same time. And I was like, that was the most important thing to Grandpa, was those kids were getting their teeth brushed. Bingo. Best thing. Have that TV. We should have TVs in every bathroom. My goodness gracious.
Yep.
Got it. And Rebecca and Willie both chimed in here saying White Basin, or Basin White, is the bath store. They have bath bombs, scrubs, lotions. They do amazing gift baskets and seasonal things as well. So there we go. You can get your fancy bathtub and the fancy soap store right there for the bath thing, all at the same resort. Gotta love that.
You know, I think we all love to be spoiled. I know I love to be spoiled. So when you have a beautiful check-in experience, it just makes the start of your stay just magical from get-go. So when you go to check in at the Grand, you have your kind of a concierge check-in where you can sit down, you're very personally taken care of. You know, you can book anything that you want to, from a hair stylist to the spa appointments to, you can even book weddings and learn about the weddings there, which are drop dead gorgeous, by the way, if you've ever been experienced to that. But it's a wonderful country style check-in. You can also do the Bippity Boppity Boutique book in there as well, the Princess Tea that we hit on a little bit. So again, it comes back to wonderful conveniences and being made to feel like a VIP. And that certainly is that front desk.
There's also an
say,
espresso machine there as well.
What was that?
Espresso machine in the lobby.
Oh, yeah.
I was just about to say that, the Keurig machine.
You come down in that compact build and you're never more than 50 feet away from an elevator. Just go down, get your espresso in the morning, go back to your room. It's like having a resort mug all the way filled all the time with a cappuccino or a coffee of your choice. So it's closed right now.
Like
won't be later.
Keurig or an espresso, or
It's an espresso.
It's one of those two. And they also have a water fountain too.
Yeah.
wow,
I like to be spoiled.
But I will say we can't undersell you have basically 3 concierge people there. I don't know, for as small as this resort is, to have 3 different people helping you. And I've used them so many times, even when my kids go to sleep, and I'll just go down there and talk to them at the end of the night because I have nothing else to do. Because I can't watch TV while the kids are asleep. So I'll just go down there and hang out for a bit. But they helped me. Last year, my daughter got really sick, so I had to cancel a bunch of stuff, like literally 20 minutes before we were supposed to show up to one of those pirate cruises. And, those are supposed to be non-cancelable inside 24 hours. I talked to her. She canceled everything. I had a dinner that I was supposed to do at Nice Yacht and Beach Club Yachtsman for myself. Had to cancel that 20 minutes before. Everything got taken care of. I didn't have to pay any cancellation fees. And she made everything great. And I can't say anything but positive for those concierge workers down there. They're one of the best. They're some of the best that I've met.
My resort teams object to that statement, but I get what you're saying.
Well, you gotta love the penguin statues and the fountains in the lobby as well.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Like
Full Mary Poppins.
Full Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
I'm a very visual person. I don't know about you guys, but super visual. But when I walked in that front entryway the very first time, when we opened the Grand Floridian DVC, I was absolutely floored by that bronze fountain with Mary Poppins, the penguins, and then looking up and looking at those 5-tier chandeliers and looking around. But everybody that was looking back had such a big smile on their face. So back to that staff there and those cast members, they are 150% gold. But that is a visual experience when you walk in and boom, there's Mary Poppins. Love it. Just love it. One of my favorite places.
Yeah, Lauren's backing you up there with a comment. It's a beautiful lobby as well. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so the number 3 reason we love the Grand Floridian is the relaxing environment. So this goes back to just not only the DVC lobby, but also the main lobby at the hotel. So you have the main lobby pianist. You got the door greeters that are there. They are awesome. You got, like we talked about, the new lounge, Enchanted Rose. You can look out and see the Seven Seas Lagoon, and you can see the Magic Kingdom from various spots where you're at. And the villas are, you got that separate building, but it's still very close. And it's actually kind of closer than some of the other buildings at the hotel proper. So you still have that very special, close-knit feel to everything. And not to be discounted is that covered walkway from the DVC villas to the main lobby or to the monorail area where if you're going to drop your bags off, hopefully that comes back. So if it's raining in the summer, you don't get wet. And you can't say that for the Polynesian,
Nope.
which is next door. You will get soaked in the summer. Grand Floridian, we pay for that extra stuff. Don't get wet.
I love the covered walkway. It was so convenient.
So there's 3 lobbies at Disney World that take my breath away, and this is one of those 3. And of course, the other 2, Wilderness Lodge and Jumbo House. But of the 3, the one that just speaks to our relaxing, elegant, genteel, luxury feel is the Grand Floridian. And then if no one's ever been, if our listeners haven't and viewers haven't been in there before, when you walk in, you're going to be, and Justin mentioned this, but the sound of a pianist in the middle of the lobby playing Disney tunes or just anything, comforting you as you enter that lobby, or maybe hopefully in future years they'll bring back the band that's playing up on the second floor balcony now, maybe on the ground floor, but you're immediately just greeted with again, relaxing elegance from the moment you step in there. And there's also I don't know if and everyone else can speak to this, there's also a very specific Grand Floridian fragrance that is kind of citrus-based, but hard to place. But once you've been into the Grand Floridian main lobby once, you'll recognize, it'll hit your brain, and then every time you come back, you'll re-experience that same fragrance that tells you, I'm home, I'm back at the Grand Floridian. This is where I belong. So.
And that fragrance is slightly different because it's actually tinted by fresh cut flowers. They keep fresh cut flowers there in the lobby. And so it's whatever flowers they're stocking in there adds another layer of complexity to that scent. I actually have a friend who does Disney candles, and she's kind of broken it down. She was just like, yeah, we can't nail it because they keep changing the flowers. Okay? And it goes, on and off and things along those lines as well.
And this is one of our favorite aspects of the Grand Floridian is that it's really elegant, but it doesn't feel stuffy. I'm not a person who likes to feel like it's too fancy, and you get that a lot. Is the Grand Floridian too stuffy? It's not. It's elegant, but it's super duper comfortable. We absolutely love it, and it's not like I don't feel the same vibe of like stuffiness like I do at other DVC resorts, hint hint Riviera. This one I actually feel super comfortable in.
Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. I mean, so many times I'd sit with members and they would say, before we opened or before they ever stayed there, they said, we're kind of afraid that if we go over there, the kids can't touch anything. They can't sit down in the chairs. No. They can't feel comfortable. Is it going to be pretentious? It is about as far from pretentious, I think, as you could possibly go. It's elegant, but it doesn't take like a pretentious side. You don't have to be afraid to make yourself just kind of live there. It's your home. It's one of those beautiful homes away from home, and you should feel that way. And don't ever not book the Grand Floridian DVC because you're afraid it's going to be pretentious, because you will be very pleasantly surprised. It's going to be home to you, and you're going to love it.
It's made for your family to run through that lobby. Absolutely. Yes. It is made for DVC
100%.
vacationers, Disney
Definitely.
vacationers. So the whole family and wear it in. Absolutely.
Yep.
I would just say, I don't know if you can find a bigger fan of the lobby than I am. The first time we stayed I don't know. We'll have to talk. But the first time we stayed at Disney 5 years ago, we started at a moderate resort at the Port Orleans. Great resort. But a lot of stuff wasn't grown great. Taking buses at the end of the night. But then once we walked into the lobby, now I was staying club level, so I had a little higher service. But we walked through, I had a club level guy meet me, piano guys playing, people who were having a good time in the lobby, and I just sat down and just almost cried at how much better the Grand Floridian was over a moderate. And at that point, I was like, I need to stay here every time. And then that was the reason why I joined DVC, was because I was like, I don't want to pay $6,000 every time for a week.
I think Linda can help you get some more points there, Justin.
Yeah. So that was literally what sold me on that resort. I spent many more than $6,000 in the 5 years, but I own a piece of it now, so that's good.
And that's great that you bought in when you did, because I have to tell you just really quickly, I mean, in the last couple of months, the price to buy Grand Floridian points from November to now has gone up like $9 a point.
Ooh, I got in for 123.
Oh, no, not going to happen. Not going to happen. But, you come $5 grand. Don't wait. Not destroying any of this.
Y'all done got the squirrel alert.
All right, moving on to the number 2. We're getting low here. We're getting to that number 1 soon. But number 2, I was blown away by the holiday decorations, guys. We stayed there Easter weekend for a long weekend, and it was over the top theming. Okay, can we just talk about a giant collection of Easter eggs painted by hand with classic Disney images? I mean, are you kidding me? Like, I couldn't take enough pictures. And then Christmas, I mean, I'm all for Wilderness Lodge. I love that place, but Grand Flo will give you a run for your money at Christmas with the gingerbread houses. You have full-time chefs working on the non-COVID times, disclaimer, working on gingerbread houses, and the Christmas tree is massive with that awesome, atrium, 5-story atrium that they talked about when we talked about the lobby just now. But I'm telling you, you walk in that place and it is over the top. I don't know if you've ever been, any of you guys, at holidays, but just go there and walk around for a half hour. You will be blown away.
I knew Christmas was a big deal there. This is the first time hearing of Easter being all out over the top as well. So that's really good to hear.
Yes.
Easter and the villas really, at least the villas side, goes a little bit out for Halloween. When we've stayed there, every time we've stayed there has been for Halloween time. They have like a little mini pumpkin patch, Disney carved like art into pumpkins in the villas lobby. And I thought that's a really nice underrated touch of going there in the fall.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to tell you, years and years ago, when I moved from Vero Beach and I started working as a DVC guide in Walt Disney World, and I started at the boardwalk there. And the first time I went into Grand Floridian at Christmas time and saw that full-size gingerbread house built, I was absolutely in awe. I think I took a picture from every side of it, and I had to try everything. I mean, they make everything there from candies to peppermint bark. However, if you ever get me going on peppermint bark, because mine's better than Williamson Sonoma, that's just a whole nother show. But going to that place and seeing the lobby and the ginormous Christmas tree, guys, is that like the ornaments the size of a giant picture window? It's absolute. Again, I'm very visual. So to me, it is one of the most stellar places you could ever go during the holiday is the Grand.
And you got a photo pass person there at the tree.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is. That is. So.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but don't they actually, the gingerbread house, they sell stuff. Like you can get hot chocolate there, I
They
think?
do everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
it's nuts. It's a store.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Yep.
by the way, we're going to have Linda show up at a My DVC Points meetup and fact check that statement on her
Hey.
peppermint bark is better. So
Hey,
just
listen.
saying.
I will meet you to that challenge and you will love it.
Okay. We're looking forward to it.
Your best friend at Christmas.
Okay. I wish I had a drum roll because
Right. So I think a common word that's come up over the course of this entire conversation is the word elegant, other words of luxurious and comfort. And there's a reason for that. And that is ever since the Grand Floridian opened, it's been hailed by Disney themselves and various marketing and presentation things as their flagship resort, in their flagship resort location, Disney World, next to their flagship theme park, Magic Kingdom. And so when they built this resort, they brought it and they intended to be, the pinnacle of their Disney luxury experience. And everything we've said in the show so far really, speaks to that. We mentioned briefly the lobby, but from the moment you come into that main lobby at the Grand Floridian, you're struck by, a 5-story atrium, 2 huge skylights with gorgeous chandeliers filling up the top of that space. We've already spoken of even the fragrance, the music, the visuals. Everything Disney has done with the Grand Floridian is trying to build that experience from your first moment in there of elegance, comfort, relaxation. So it starts with the lobby and then it proceeds to the rooms. And Justin and I have a similar story here. Both of us got hooked onto DVC by a stay at the Grand Floridian. I had never stayed at the Grand Floridian either. I've been a Disney guy on and off my entire life, had always dreamed of going there. And it was a trip to the Grand Floridian in 2013 that said, wow, we could actually do this every year or so. That got us into DVC. So it was hook, line, and sinker. Whether you're on the resort grounds, you're in the signature restaurants, you're in the pools, whether you're enjoying the Victorian decor of your room, you're going to get the one message from Disney of comfortable, luxurious elegance. That's just not that standalone, like gold-plated Four Seasons, whatever. It's Disney elegance. You're at Disney, and so you're seeing the that side of the Disney experience, and they deliver. So I think we're all on the show because we fully agree. If you want a fantastic experience, please check out the Grand Floridian. You're going to love it.
So the number one reason is it is Disney's flagship resort. Okay, what else do you guys think here? Any other comments?
I just have a magical moment. My son and my daughter, we came back from the park and my daughter was she was probably like 5 or 6. And my husband and her did like a father-daughter dance in the lobby. I kid you not. I got the best pictures and a little video. And he was twirling her and they had jazz music playing on the orchestra. And I'm telling you, it was like a tearjerker. And it was just like, what lobby in all of DVC would you be doing a father-daughter dance with a 5-year-old? With, she had a twirl dress. It was amazing. And I was just like, oh, I'm hooked like that. I'm like, there's the checkbook. Like, where do I sign? I mean, it was like,
take my money kind of cool,
take
huh?
my money.
You need to stop talking because you're going to get me here going pretty soon.
It was magical. That was one of my highlights over the years. So
yeah, we did the Princess Promenade one afternoon, and that was fun. And then the girls walked down, they do a big intro and presentation. Cinderella dances with Prince Charming, and then they open up the floor for all the dads and their daughters, and I was like doing
Yeah.
one of these. It felt like someone was cutting onions the whole time. And I'm going to give a shout out to Wes. He's the main piano player there. I love Wes. I make it a point every time to see him, and he'll play whatever you want. You just ask him to play something. He can play anything. And
I asked him to play Star Wars medley.
Okay.
5 days ago. I went up with my iPhone. He was playing, and I had a sign on my. Wrote it out. Star Wars medley ? And I got a few good ones from him.
Yeah, he can do anything.
He's amazing.
Awesome.
And wasn't there a greeter at the door, guys? I know he passed away, an older gentleman, and after
Richard.
20 years, Richard. Yeah, I mean that was people talked about him and said that that you were welcome home, and he was one of the main things. Always there.
Very good. So I think we've covered the top 10 reasons why you should book the Grand Flow. But as well, we need to do some fair media coverage. We've got 4 reasons why you might want to book elsewhere. So,
talking to people, they just say, I'll tell you what I hear. I'm hearing from other members, it's too stuffy. It's too formal. It is a grandma decorated resort with the Victorian, flagship. They don't like the grandma look and feel. I won't fit in there because I'm not fancy. And the other thing I hear is I don't dress up on vacation, so why would I stay there? I'm not going to wear a suit and a tie and collared shirts. But I got to tell you, that is a misconception because, as we talked about earlier, it is not pretentious or stuffy. It is casual elegance. And I would say everyone is welcome there. No one is ever made to feel like you're just not good enough. You're not dressed fancy enough.
yeah, but this is the cons, and I got to counter this with,
I
get that feeling of, look, Martha, a peasant in a My DVC Points shirt and cargo jeans, right? Or cargo shorts. So there is that, past the Grey Poupon level of feel to it, okay? So I think that's a pretty fair con if that's not your cup of tea. And as we wrote in the title here, this elegance thing is just not everybody's cup of tea. So some people might want to go over there for a meal or a princess deal and tip their toes in the water, but then go back over at the Poly where you can hang out in your shirt that's not tucked in and the wild print hula stuff, right? So I get it.
You only go to the Poly if you want to do the Brady Bunch goes to Hawaii.
Yeah, there you go, right?
Yeah.
So
or
I
poor
will
Manzolani, right?
I will confess this con number 4. I felt myself. I was on the boat to Magic Kingdom, and I happened to see Narcoossee's pop up on my dining plan wait list. Book right now. I'm like, book it. And I went into my shopping at Magic Kingdom, and by the time I got out of Magic Kingdom, my wait list came up on Narcoossee's. But of course, I'm in my Magic Kingdom park gear, and shorts, t-shirt. And I did feel a little out of place eating dinner there with the people dressed up nicely for their date night, as I mentioned beforehand. So I'll give a little bit of credence to this con number 4, as much as I don't want to.
Awesome.
Oh man, and this is tough talking about a con for one of the resorts that's tied for my favorite resort, but I'll go ahead and say it, and it's that the Grand Floridian often, during normal times of course, shares buses with the Polynesian when you're going to Disney Springs, Hollywood Studios, or Animal Kingdom. Currently, right now, they're not doing that, but that's the case normally, and I kind of don't agree with this at all because if you're paying so much money to stay at the Grand Floridian or you're splurging on points to stay there, you really shouldn't have to share buses with anyone. You should be able to have your own private bus and not have to worry about getting a seat. However, I will say a way to avoid this con, what we do is when we're staying at the Grand, just don't go to the other places. Stick to Magic Kingdom, stick to Epcot, and just hang out in the resort. There's no need to go elsewhere if you're at the Grand. So that's just a little loophole to get around that.
So I'm going to pull one of those interviewing techniques where you take a con and turn it into a positive.
That's what I did there. Yeah. I'm not going to diss on the Grand Floridian.
Even if you have to share a bus with the Polynesian, the good news is when you come home at night, if you want some late night sushi or you want to get some ohana or a lapu lapu, it stops at the Polynesian. You get off, you get whatever you need to do at the Polynesian, and it's a 10-minute walk back to the DVC Villas. Problem solved.
There we go.
And then you got to visit your lower, less decorated people. Hang out with
Angie
Chad.
Lemons make lapu lapus, right?
Hang out with Chad with his Dole with the cargo shorts, and then you can slum it down at the Polynesian, and then come up with the Victorian era at the Grand Floridian.
Slumming it at the Poly.
I'm DVC spoiled. What can I say?
For the same price on points, are you really slumming it?
On the resale, Poly's a little cheaper, so the market has
There we
spoken.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. So the number 2 reason why you might not want to book the Grand Flo is it is the most expensive point charts in all of Walt Disney World. You are going to drop some serious points to book there. There's no ifs, ands, buts. There's no way around this. Get ready to shell out some points, okay? You better have the points and you better be willing to spend them because that's what it takes to stay there.
But it's so worth it, though.
It's worth it. That's fine by me.
There's a TV in the mirror.
So, Chad, yeah, what's your point? It's like, yeah.
Life is expensive. What can I say?
It's still 10 times cheaper than paying cash through reservations. So.
Absolutely.
You're going to be doing a lot of business with Linda there buying points. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Now, the good news is if you buy the points there, they are the cheapest dues in Walt Disney World. So there's a great reason to own there as well. So you might be spending a lot for those points, but on the due side, you're going to make up for it. But that's con number 2 as to why you might not want to stay there. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with me here. So let's just move on then.
No. We're always asked, of course, if I buy another resort, am I going to be able to stay at the Grand Floridian, the DVC? And it's going to be tough, to be super honest with you. It is really hard to get in there because it's a boutique. It's got a certain status to it. As we mentioned, the tremendous transportation venues there. And, when we opened it, we literally, not only did we call it a flagship resort, we called it the crown jewel of Disney Vacation Club. And that is exactly what that is. So my advice to any of you that want to stay there and want to do that on a fairly regular basis is, you know what, to have it, you've got to own it. You've got to book more than 7 months out. And we're not going to tell anybody who buys from us, hey, I'm going to buy this other resort and I can always stay at the Grand. No, it's not true. If you want it, you need to buy it. And as we mentioned earlier, this is probably the best time to do it because the value of it, as far as what you have to pay to get it, the sellers are holding on and the prices will just continue to go up. They've gone up quite a bit over the last few months to buy in. But I have to tell you, to offer what it offers and to stay there as a DVC member, the availability is going to be a very, very big, important thing for you, for your success and for you to be happy. But boy, once you're there, you're awesome.
That's right. So number 1 con is you probably can't book there if you don't own there. So that's kind of it, right?
Or a wait list. Both times that we've stayed there has been on a wait list.
Yeah,
So.
I've gone as far as renting points, like selling my points and renting actually from an owner. Yeah, just to get, because I wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Grand Floridian, it's up there with the Grand Californian. It's not quite as hard to get, but
True.
You look at let's just give Pete another shout out for his availability chart. If you haven't looked at it, go look at it. But you can see those point charts. There you go.
Yep.
When you look at those charts, that if you want to stay at the Grand Floridian, just look. Unless you're staying in the summer in a 1-bedroom, you need to own there. So especially the fall and even in January, February, Princess Weekend, it's tough. It is very hard. And even December, when you own there, you have to stalk. And sometimes, I'm not even going to say it. We talk about walking, but it's tough. Mm-hmm. So it's something you need to definitely, if you want to stay there, you better buy.
So speaking of that, we've got up on the screen, Linda, your email address. It's linda@dvcresalemarket.com. And then tell everybody your phone number if they want to call you to look at buying or selling or getting some Grand Flo points.
Or just ask questions. Let me help you. Absolutely. It's 352-223-9600. Very easy. Give me a
So, okay, well, that pretty much wraps up our show for today. Thank you guys for joining in. We will be back next week, and I did not think to look. Jake, do you know what we're doing next week?
I believe we have on the agenda signature dining night. So following up with fanciness of the Grand Floridian, we're just going to keep the ball rolling next week and talking about signature dining. So a lot of the restaurants that we talked about tonight might be on next week's show.
Awesome. I knew you would have a tie in there and a great flow. And I don't have a tie-in in a great flow, but I know on the 10th, we're hoping to see if we can pull off the first edition of our Disney Plus show. So Derek, our producer or cameraman tonight, is going to be on camera for that show. And so stay tuned for that, guys. We've got a Disney Plus show that we're working on, and we're trying to get launched through the Community Hall podcast. That being said and done, thank you guys for tuning in, everybody. And we are going to roll say goodnight, and then we're going to come back in and roll our Patreon video. So